Okay, Chapter 14, Qualified Plans, Distribution, and Loans. Let's go over the true-false questions. 1. A profit sharing plan must have a qualified joint and survivor annuity. The answer is false. If both parties agree that there's some other form of benefit that they want, then they do not have to have a qualified joint and survivor annuity. However, it must be in writing, and they both must agree to that. An example might be a plan that does not offer qualified joint and survivor annuities, and or perhaps the benefit is set up so that just the survivor receives the benefit. So the answer is no, not in all cases. It does not have to have a qualified joint and survivor annuity. Number 2, a participant's cost basis in a qualified retirement plan can include the amount of any plan loans included in income as a taxable distribution. The answer to number 2 is true, because any loan which was included in income was a taxable item, and therefore it is included as the participant's cost basis because the income tax was already paid on that amount of money. Number 3, the entire value of a qualified death benefit is always excluded from the decedent's gross estate for federal tax purposes. And the answer to this is false. The total amount is included in the decedent's gross estate, though with the estate exclusion at over $22 million, few people, joint married couple, will face this particular situation. But the answer is false. It is not excluded. It is included in the gross estate. Number 4, if a loan made from a qualified plan bears a reasonable rate of interest and is adequately secured, it will probably avoid being classified as a prohibited transaction. And that is true. That is written inside the regulations. So it will not be classified as a prohibited transaction. Number 4 is true. Number 5, a participant's plan benefits cannot be part of the negotiable assets in domestic disputes. And that is false. The participant's plan benefits can be part of the negotiable assets in domestic disputes. Where they're not included is when it's a benefit under a qualified domestic relations order, a QDRO, which is a court order actually assigning the benefits to a divorced spouse. So in those cases, they would not be part of negotiated domestic disputes, but the court would have already included what needs to go to the spouse, the divorced individual. Number 6, a plan distribution made at age 60, subject to the 10% penalty for early withdrawal because it was made before age 65. That is false. The age is 59 1/2. Number 7, a direct rollover is a rollover distribution that is paid directly to another eligible retirement plan for the benefit of the distributee. That is true. That is the definition of the direct rollover. Therefore, it is a non-taxable event and is not subject to the 20% withholding. That answer then is true. Number 8, a direct rollover must be completed with 90 days. No, not 90, 60 days. So that's why that answer is false. A hardship distribution from a qualified plan is eligible for rollover. Number 9 is false. The answer to the hardship distribution from a qualified plan eligible is false. It is one of the items that is not included and will not be a qualified distribution by definition. 10, loans from a rollover IRA are prohibited, and that is false. Number 10, my error, that is true. You cannot take a loan from a rollover IRA. Loans will only occur if permitted in the original retirement plan, not from a rollover IRA. So that is true. Loans from a rollover IRA are prohibited. Let's pause for a minute and read the question. The pros of Joe taking an early distribution to cover his living expenses for a few months while he gets some training to try another line of work is that he gets the cash. The cons would be he loses the investment income by taking the money. He still has to pay income tax on the money that's been withdrawn. And depending on how we define the hardship provision, without the hardship provision, which would be the 4x4 issue, then he pays a 10% penalty. If he can use the hardship provision, which is basically for crippling medical bills that need to be paid, then hardship would make it penalty-free. So it all depends whether we can call this a hardship or not.